¿Qué tal? Bienvenidos a su programa El Nuevo Rumbo de México, aquí en Pulso Sur, parte de Covadonga Medios. Hoy vamos a tener un programa diferente porque básicamente va a ser en inglés, porque nos acompaña el doctor Carl Rangat de estado de Meghalaya desde la India. Welcome, Dr. Carl.
Thank you.
Just announcing that this is the program of New Horizons in Mexico, here in Pulso Sur, part of Covadonga Medios. And we are taking advantage of your presence here, visiting us in the state of Quintana Roo, all the way from Meghalaya, almost on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you could explain to the people listening to us, why is it that you are here? Why is it that you decided to come visit us?
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Francisco, for having me here in this program today. In fact, I'm very grateful to you for arranging this, for my trip to arrange to Mexico, because this has been a long time wish that we should want to come and see, because we have studied the geography, the agroecological conditions of Mexico and India, and especially the northeast India from which I come. The northeast part is very similar to what it's present in Mexico.
You come from the state of Meghalaya,
Yeah.
so just that our audience know where this state is in the north of Meghalaya you have the country of Bhutan,
Yes.
and in the south of Meghalaya you have the country of
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh.
Yes.
So just
We are on the south. We are bordered by Bangladesh, and on the extreme north is Sikkim and Bhutan,
great.
and
Okay.
after that China again. After
Okay.
that China.
Okay.
So we are a group of 7 states, 7 sister states in the northeast part of India, which is bordering, like you said, bordering Bangladesh and Bhutan. And this is a part where Meghalaya is a very small state in these 7 sisters. And the name Meghalaya, Meg in Sanskrit means cloud,
Okay.
and Alaya means home.
Okay.
So Meghalaya is actually the home of the clouds.
That is because there are big mountains, or
There are high mountains, and we have got the highest rainfall in the world.
okay.
Cherrapunji in the Guinness Book of Records is there for the highest rainfall in the world.
Which is how much?
On an average, about 15,000.
15,000.
millimeters.
That's about 15 times much more than what we have here in the state of Quintana Roo.
Yeah. So that's why because of that also we have the highest density of plant density in the northeast. That means the biodiversity, including plants, animals, the rest. We have very high, 67% of the biodiversity of India
Whoa,
resides in the northeast.
almost 2/3.
Yeah, 2/3.
Even more than 2/3.
More
of
than
the
2/3, yeah.
biodiversity of India resides in your area.
And 11% of the water of India is present in
Gee, okay.
in the northeast.
Quite a big amount.
So we are a corner of the country which is very rich in natural resources.
Okay.
That's what we want to say. And in this area resides more than 200 indigenous tribes.
Aha. So you see a correlation between the diversity that you see in the area and the cultural diversity also
Exactly.
of the indigenous people.
Because the indigenous cultures have learned to respect nature. They have learned to value nature. So our indigenous people in the past have always lived in very close relationship with nature.
Good.
And
Yeah.
that's why till today also we are still having the highest biodiversity,
Okay.
because the indigenous peoples respect the nature.
But that is in a process of change, I
It's
assume.
slowly it's
because
eroding.
of many pressures that
Correct.
the people is
It is eroding very rapidly, and that's why in 1996 the government of India banned timber logging.
okay.
It was timber was being cut indiscriminately, and the hills were becoming naked. The whole hills.
Okay.
In 1996, timber cutting was banned.
Okay.
So we were very happy about that, because a lot of the NGOs from our side were fighting for that, to ban this timber ban.
Okay.
Similarly, now in the northeast, we have a lot of wealth of minerals.
Okay.
limestone, coal, all these things. So the private industry is digging up everything and spoiling the environment. So that again, the National Green Tribunal, which is from India, we have the NGT, the National Green Tribunal, which is seriously looking at stopping all this. It has already banned coal mining.
Oh, good. Okay.
Coal mining is already banned.
All right.
Now
That's good.
limestone mining and stone quarrying,
Okay.
because a lot of stone is going down into Bangladesh.
Yes.
So, I mean, the long and short of all this is to tell you that there's a lot of tension. There's a lot of tension in the Northeast. Tension in the sense that the business community or the trading community wants to extract, and the local people want that it should remain like that.
How about food systems situation? What kind of pressures they are under?
Yes. You see, in the Northeast, as I told you, it is mostly a lot of tribal communities that are residing, and we have different types of farming systems.
Okay.
I mean, the methods of farming, and from these indigenous farming systems, which have come down from generations upon generations, these have come down the knowledge. Because of these farming systems, various food systems have also developed. So it is these food systems that we want to preserve, because nowadays there's too much of pressures with modern food, or the usual the
Technological package that includes
technology
fertilizers, chemicals to control pests,
and even foods,
hybrids.
even foods like which are modern foods, so to say. These are coming into the food system, which is of our tribals. Even in the remotest villages, you will find modern foods in the shops. So it is a big danger, because we from NESFAS, I belong to an organization called the Northeast Slow Food and Agro Biodiversity Society. We work for maintaining the status quo in the indigenous food systems. By maintaining this status quo in these food systems, it automatically also maintains the farming systems. And once it maintains the farming systems, it also maintains the agrobiodiversity. And once it maintains the agrobiodiversity, we in this modern day, everybody is talking about living or adapting to climate change.
Okay.
So there's adaptation to climate change depends a lot on the environment in which you are living. So in most of these areas which are densely forested, climate change does not affect. We can see climate change in the mostly where there's industrial agriculture is being going on.
Okay, that's a very important point.
Yes, where there's industrial agriculture, where there's large-scale commercialization, where there's large-scale denudation of forests, that's where climate change becomes very apparent.
I see. And so traditional systems, I understand that you have something similar to our milpa in this area, which is based on slash and burn and rotation of the crops there. This system, how important it is in terms of releasing or capturing carbon, a major component of the global warming.
Yes, I was going to come to that, because this was one of the main reasons why I have come to Mexico, is to study the milpa farming system. Because we have read in the papers, we have read in the research papers, in the books, etc., and we find that they are very similar to what we call in our slash and burn, it is called jhum cultivation. It is very similar. So I have come basically to learn how the communities here, the indigenous communities in Mexico, are coping with all these other pressures. Like our people are facing so much pressures. They are facing so much pressures from modernism and from industrial agriculture and all these other things. So we are desperately trying to empower our communities to live with these forces, but not to forget their roots.
Okay.
Not to forget their culture.
Okay.
To maintain their culture.
Because in their culture there are basic principles
Yes.
that explain that biodiversity,
Yeah.
that capturing of carbon in their
Yes.
gene systems. I think.
I mean, our indigenous people may not say it in so many words. They might not say carbon capturing.
Of course.
That is a
Of
modern
course.
term
Of
nowadays.
course. Mm.
That we are trying to make them understand that you are doing a very good thing. You are capturing the carbon from the air, and it is being harvested into the soil. We are teaching them composting techniques where the carbon is being broken down and put into the soil. So these are all the things that, yes, this traditional wisdom, the traditional wisdom of the past, they may not say in so many words like carbon sequestration or something, but it has worked.
Okay.
And because it has worked, that's why we say that we need to keep this indigenous traditional knowledge alive.
Good.
Especially with our youth. We are concentrating a lot on the youth so that they should be proud of their own identity.
So when you talk about those values, cultural values that the people there have, and that explains the wealth in biodiversity, I am assuming that those are aligned very well with the field of agroecology.
Yes. Yes.
What is the connection then that you in the organization have with agroecology?
Especially my organization, our major mandate now is agroecology. We would like to, as a term, and perhaps you know about agroecology, is about the holistic development of agriculture, of the environment, which includes food production. It's not only food production by itself, but the whole ecological, in which man is one component of the ecology.
Okay.
So for that, we from NESFAS are very keen to set up, for want of a better word, we want to set up agroecology schools.
Okay.
We have heard, we have read, we have heard a lot of debates and not a lot of papers being presented that agroecology schools have been set up in Mexico, in most part of Latin America. So we are very interested to study how these agroecology schools are functioning, how they are governed, how they are transferring either knowledge from technological knowledge to the farmer, or farmer to farmer, or whatever they are doing. I have basically come to study all that.
Great.
And we would definitely like to learn from the experience, from your experiences from Mexico for now, from the Latin American experience especially, where the agroecology schools have been set up and working very well. We would definitely like to learn from them. I have come to Mexico not to teach anything. I have come to learn.
Great.
So I have come
Thank
to
you.
learn,
Thank
especially
you.
to meet
But I'm sure we will learn something from you as well.
whatever I can, if I can. The other part which we were very interested, why we wanted to come to Mexico, was that we heard from you that you have set up an intercultural university.
Okay.
That rings a lot of bells in our mind. That we would also like, because we have been talking a lot in those lines, but it has not been systematic like you are doing.
Okay.
And you are addressing the youth.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
And
Without forgetting the elders.
No, the elders are the main faculty, you can say.
Of course, they should.
They are the teachers.
They should.
So the thing is that unless we empower, we strengthen, we make our youth proud of their own identity, how will it continue in the next generation?
Of course. Yeah.
It will continue only through our youth.
Yes.
And you have done it through this intercultural university, so they are getting degrees. They are not just indigenous people. They are well trained, well educated, and they will be
Very much aware of their culture.
very
their
much aware of
identity.
their culture. So we are very much interested to study, especially that also with your. I mean, we are so proud to have you as a friend.
Thank you.
Because we have heard that you are the pioneer in setting up this university, and NESFAS is very proud to be associated with you, and we definitely want to. We may not have to replicate.
Of course, you have to adapt.
We'll adapt to our system, but based on your experiences.
Thank you.
And with your help, I'm sure we will these two major things. One is the agroecology schools, and the other is the the intercultural universities. These are of great interest to us because we believe in intergenerational transfer of knowledge.
Now, when we talk about food systems, we're not only talking about the ways how the food is produced, but also how the food is reaching customers.
Yes.
How it's dealing with market issues as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you talk about what is it that you guys are doing?
Yes. We have started recently, last June, we started a major project in that direction, of indigenous food systems, which we have the components where, okay, we'll identify the indigenous foods, number one. Number two is we will analyze the food systems, the foods. Because you see, in our indigenous food,
Settings.
or when we talk, we say this is very healthy to eat, that is very healthy to eat. What does it contain? We don't know. Yes, our grandfathers and great-grandfathers, they have always used, and they said it's very good. It cleans the blood. This does it, that. But what is that active ingredient? So now we are going to analyze and find out, and then we'll show to the world.
Good.
The third aspect is not only do we find out what is good, what is not good, but the third aspect is increase in productivity. Because at the moment, most of our indigenous foods, of which we are eating indigenous, are generally about 50 to 60% are foraged from the jungle. That is why one of the things that people maintain that jungle,
Of course.
because they are foraging these foods.
Of course.
Not only foods, but medicines also. So that's why the forests become very important to our people. So the thing is that now we want to increase the productivity without compromising the quality. So for that we have got two strategies. One is what we call in situ multiplication, and the other is ex situ. So for that ex situ, we have started a big program of school gardens.
Okay.
So we are trying to plant these same plants in the school gardens, and then educating school children, school teachers especially, educating school children to know the importance of these things.
Oh, that sounds like you guys have a lot of work.
A lot
You've
of
been
work.
working quite a bit. And how many people?
We have a fourth aspect which is more important, which you had asked me. The fourth aspect is to increase consumption.
Okay.
What you're talking about,
Of
marketing.
local food.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, because in the cities, there is too much of other foods, which people are more prone to go and eat to that. So we have a major component in the project where we will, push it. Educate people through like the channels like this, through the local cable networks, through channels like YouTube, through the other digital networks, and even local newspapers, by which people will get interested to eat. So that is the part of the marketing part, which you are talking about. The marketing part is that where we will increase the consumption. And because nowadays mostly people are talking about health foods.
Okay.
So they're looking for health foods.
Right.
And when they're looking for health food, they're looking for organic food only. But they're not looking at the most precious material that we have, which is wild edible plants. So we have one component of the WEPs, the wild edible plants, and the nutritionally underutilized species. Because these unutilized species people were just eating. Villagers in the deep jungles, they were eating it. They never get sick. They don't get serious illnesses. Now we are having another project with the Biodiversity International with the nutritionally underutilized species.
Okay.
And these now we have found that during our research now which we are doing, we have been increasingly finding that these nutritionally underutilized species are also very climate resilient.
Good. Okay, that's good news.
So climate resilience is what all the scientists are looking for now.
Yes.
And we have what God or what nature has given us is climate resilient crops. So these climate resilience crops is one also of the major components where we'll identify, we will find agronomic practices to increase its production and multiply it in situ in the jungle
Well,
also.
that sounds like we have a lot to learn from you all too.
I don't know if you can just say.
It's very interesting.
But yeah,
So you are going to be here in Mexico until Saturday,
Saturday.
and you have a busy schedule from
Yes. Very busy.
from today till Saturday. You're going to go visit the School of Mani.
Yes.
You are going to talk to very experienced people like Biólogo Enrique.
I'm looking
Galvez,
forward. I'm looking forward to
who's
it.
gonna
I'm looking forward to all
who's
this.
setting up a great model of how to articulate many of the issues that you've been talking about.
I'm very excited when you told me about that model. I'm very excited to. Yes.
Great. And so your expectations is to learn as much as you can from the experiences that you will have contact with here in Mexico,
Yeah.
and then take that information with you, discuss it with your
Team.
group of people there, and see how you can use or adapt some of that knowledge into your own settings, into your own environment.
This is kind of a pioneer thing which I have come now. I hope in future we can get some more sponsorship and we can send some more of our staff here. Is that NESFAS intends with your help after this visit to come out with a broad, sort of a skeleton of guidelines how this agroecology school should move, just broadly, and so that we will not be running around in circles. It will be in a proper direction.
I see.
With experiences, your experiences from here, maybe experiences of Latin America from other experiences, maybe experiences from Thailand, which is from wherever we can get. We want to learn from people, and learn from them and not repeat their mistakes. And we will do.
That sounds good.
We don't want to repeat their mistakes again. So we want to learn your mistakes also.
Well, it sounds like we both share many common things, because even though the geography and the environment and the climate in your area is kind of different than our area, but looks like the very core principles that maintain those food systems are similar in these two areas.
I used to talk that, because I used to meet, because you see, the NESFAS is a grassroots organization for an organization called the Indigenous Partnership from Rome. So I used to talk about that. I used to say that what binds us, Mexico is here, India is there,
on the other side of the world,
there's somebody else in Kazakhstan. What binds us is our indigenosity.
Right.
We do not have anything in common, but the indigenosity is what is important, and that is what Mexicans or Mayans should hold on to. That we as Khasis
yourself
or
are a Khasi, yourself an indigenous person.
So we hold on to that, and then maybe the Karen tribe from the thing, they hold on to them, but we are all part of an indigenous family.
Great.
And we have all different experiences, all different agroclimatic conditions, but we are still bound by the same indigenosity. Yeah.
Great. I hope that you all have been enjoying this magnificent conversation Carl and I are having in this program. And I hope also to keep the relationship with you all and grow this exchange that we're having between Northeast India and Mexico. Hopefully there will be someday a direct flight from Mexico to India or to Delhi.
Yes.
Right now there is no direct flight. You had to come through the United States and all the visa difficulties that you had to go through.
But it's worth it. After all that trouble, when I got to Mexico, I feel all my tiredness is gone. After meeting the lovely people which so far I have met, I mean, all my tiredness is gone, and I hope that we will make networks
You know that we are right at the border with Belize. Here in Chetumal, we are bordering with Belize.
Yeah.
And Belize and also Cancun, especially Cancun and Playa, have a pretty important population of people from India.
Is it?
Yes. Would you like to end this conversation giving them a message from?
Yes, it's very. I'm so happy to hear that there's a sizable Indian population here, and I would have loved to meet some of them if possible. But then, yes, you are. If you are living in Mexico in these areas, I'm sure you are being our ambassadors in Mexico and giving a good name to the country, and
Yes.
you know, mixing well and interacting well with the people here, and giving us. We would definitely like to network with you if we could get some of your addresses,
Connections.
your email addresses, or we are definitely, we would like to contact you, and we will definitely like to take things forward from here. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for being
You're
here in
welcome.
this program,
Welcome.
Carl.
Yeah.
And thank you all for also listening to us.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Muchas gracias. Ha sido un placer.